Hi there, it's Sally from Rickety Snippets here, and today I have a free folio to share with you. So all of the printables for this kit are free when you sign up using the link below. So go along, grab your free printables, and then you can follow along with me. So I'll show you the folio. So this is a completed folio. So we have fairies in this lovely kind of blue ivy setting, and more fairies on the back. And then we have a closure here, so you will need a couple of brads for this, for the closure. But everything else you should have. You'll just need your printables and your glue and your scissors as usual. And then inside we have pockets. So this is a half-page pocket with another fairy on it. Lots of tags and labels and ephemera in these pockets, and a big pocket here on the side to stash some more ephemera. And then this is a waterfall with this kind of Art Nouveau theme. So some more dragonflies, more fairies, and some little journaling cards to tuck inside. So that's the folio. I'll show you the pages as they print out. So there are 6 pages in all. These are our front covers. We have some beautiful labels to go inside, lovely other bits of ephemera here, some pockets, some lovely dragonfly pockets, and beautiful fairies throughout, and some wallpaper, and some more components of the folio. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out all these pieces. So I'll go away and do that, so you don't have to watch me do that, and then I'll be back. Oh, something to say before I go and cut those out. If you're going to be cutting your pieces out, don't cut out these little discs, just leave them on a sheet on their own, and don't cut out this component, this flap, just yet. So everything else can be cut out. You can ink your pieces, but just leave those 2 bits intact, and I'll show you why later. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Right, so I've cut out all the pieces, and I've inked everything except this piece and the tops of these pieces, but I've done the edges of those. Okay, so I'm going to put all the ephemera pieces to one side, and we'll come back to those later, and we'll start by putting together the folio. So move these out of the way as well. So I think the best thing to start with is this flap that goes on the front of your folio. So we haven't cut out the whole piece, but the bit that we're going to cut out first is the flap. So along this straight edge, along this straight edge, and along that straight edge. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So that edge and that edge. Okay, and I think I'll just trim off some of this white. Just don't want to go right up to the edge just yet. That's it. And then we're going to put a catch onto here, so that we can, which will be our closure. and that is where these two little bits come in. So these very tiny ones you can cut out, but the bigger ones need to have something on the back to make them a little bit stronger. There's one. That's it, there's two bits. And then, so yeah, this one, let's trim off some of the excess. And then I'm going to stick it onto a spare piece of cardboard. So lots of glue on the back. Just really stick that down. Maybe a bit too much glue there. Right. Give that a sec to dry, because I did use a bit too much on there, I think. So while we're waiting for that bit to dry, you can put a bit of Distress ink on these tiny bits. You won't be able to see these, but I think it's nicer if they're inked, so I do back and the front. Which just kind of camouflages them a bit. And then hopefully these are a bit drier now. Oh yeah, I've made a real mess of that. So, right, so cut them both together. Which will give us a clean line. And you won't be able to see that this is two bits joined together. This one. There we go. And so we want to ink those bits as well. So just around the edges on the top. And then right across the back. I don't get any of that white peeping out, spoiling our illusions. Go. And then you need an awl and something springy. This is a rubber mat that I have, maybe a bit of foam or something like that, and just puncture through the center. There's a hole, or there's a circle in the middle of these, so you can see where to puncture it, and then make that a little bit bigger. And the same for the little one. And then the same for these two little pieces. Here we go. Okay, so, oh, we also want to make a puncture mark in the front here. There's again another mark on there where you need to do that. And while we're there, there's also a little mark on that front cover, just on the archway there, so we'll make that hole as well. And the next thing we're going to do is attach these closures to the front, or this closure to the flap and the other closure to the front of our folio. So I've got a brad here, or a couple of brads, or split pins as they're sometimes called, and this one has a black top. And I'm going to put that so that the larger of these two discs goes with this flap. So I'm going to put the brad through that, through the top of that, and then through one of these little discs, and then onto that front flap. And I'm going to turn it over and then split the pins and squash them flat. And then on the front here, so I need another pin, another brad, through that hole, through the hole in the little piece, and then through the front of the folio. Again, turn it over and split those pins so that they're lying flat. You might have to just push down on the desk so that you are getting them nice and even, nice and flat. Same with that one. There we go. And then we want to cover these up. So make them so that the lines are going vertically. The two arms are vertical. And then we just need a little bit of scrap paper, which we're going to stick over the top just to make them less kind of sharp. Oh, sorry, no, this one should go this way vertically. Okay. I'm just going to make it a little bit wider and longer than that, so that kind of size. Some glue on the back. And I'm also going to put a bit of glue just over that brad as well. And then stick the paper down and turn it over, give it a good squash from the other side. There we go. Making a mess with the glue as usual. That's it. Okay. So that's one. And then with this one, I want to do the same thing. You could also use, maybe big enough, a piece of double-sided tape or something if you have that. But the idea is that you don't want that moving about underneath your paper when you stick them together. There'll be and a bit on there. So these will all be covered up. You won't be able to see them, but we don't want them working their way through or damaging the paper or anything. That's it. So turn it over and give it a good squash again. Think of a better word than squashed. Squash. There we go. Okay. And so I'm going to actually trim that a little bit nearer. This, again, not right up to the edge, just so that there's just a little bit of white there. And we're going to stick this onto the back of this piece. Okay, so first thing to do, put glue all over this piece, right up to the edge. And quite a bit along that edge, because we are going to cut some of that off. And then glue all over the rest of the back of that flap. Go. And then we're going to take that and line it up with the flap on this piece. Okay, stick it down. Okay, so what we have is still that bit is complete, and this bit we have that white overhang. And so the reason I did it like this is so that you can cut those two pieces together and get a really nice edge along there. Just because things like having a brad on it will slightly shift those edges. So this is a nice way to make sure the two are gonna really marry up nicely. So you can cut all the way along that outside edge now. There we go. And put a bit of ink along that edge as well. Just along there. There we are. So the next thing to do is to score this piece. So we want to do it from the back, and there are two lines which you may not be able to see on the camera because they're very fine. You want to get your awl and draw along one of those lines. I like to do the first one, the one that's nearest to you first. So you want a nice press it quite hard there. Not if you've got anything too sharp, but you want to be able to make an impression on both sheets of card there. So you want a really good line, really good impression. So that's your first one. And then score along, so it's quite a bit difficult with the brad there, but score along that second line. I didn't actually say what I was doing there, do you? But you're bringing that side up over the ruler to give you a really sharp edge. So you should now have a little kind of spine along here. And that is the flap of our folio done. I want to take the front cover and we're going to stick this spine onto the back here. So this is your front cover, this is your back cover. Just going to flatten that out a bit and we're going to stick it onto that back cover. Okay. So put some glue right up to that fold line. And then we're just going to line that up so the edge of that back page sits on that fold line. Smooth it down. Oh, and I've made a mess there too. Okay. So that is the front done. And then inside, I think before we stick, so we're going to stick these 2 pages to those to form the inside of our folio. But I think before we stick it together, we should stick this pocket down, which I think will make it slightly easier so that you're not having to work on top of this brad. So I'm going to score some lines on this back piece. So again, you're going to have a little spine. So you'll see where the pattern changes. You want to score along that line, and then again where the pattern changes again. So 2 lines down there, and then we'll do the same thing again. Bring that page up and kind of smooth along the edge of your ruler. And again here, you might have to ease it gently to start with, and then really smooth into that edge. Okay, which then will very clearly define excuse me, where the edge of that page is. And then we're going to line this pocket up, and it goes over the whole width of that page. So all we want to do is have a little bit of glue along the 2 sides and along the bottom. Whoop. Line that up. There we go, and then just make sure that that page still can turn there. Great. So all there is to do is to fix these 2 pages together. So this page is going to be a pocket, so we'll do that in a minute. So we'll start by gluing these 2 pages together. So you want the side with the pocket on it, and that's going to match up with this one where you've got your patch where your brad was on the other side. So I'm going to glue along the spine and right along the edges, getting as near to the edge as you can there. And then all the way over that page. But at the moment, we're leaving this side clean, not putting any ink on that, any glue rather, on that yet. And then you can lay this side down, match up all your edges. And then smooth it down. Great. See how that's sitting. It's okay. think I'm just going to give it another score along those 2 lines. Now that there's another page underneath. So just back over those 2. And then again, fold both pages into the edge of your ruler. Smooth it along. And there as well. Okay. Great. And then all there is to do then is to put 2 lines of glue along these edges, which will give you a big pocket. And then before you stick it down, if you want to have a little notch out of that pocket, so you can use a punch. You don't have to have any notches in this if you don't want to, but I think I'm going to have one there. And I'll just put a little bit of ink on that as well. There we go, and then stick that down. So it just makes a really big pocket there on the edge, on that page. That whole page becomes a pocket. There we go. So give it a bit of an inspection to see if you've got any pages that are overlapping. I don't think I have here, which is great. That bit could do with a little bit more ink. There we go. And then on this side, we're going to have a waterfall of these beautiful dragonflies. So we'll have 3 waterfall pockets coming down there. So you need your 6 pieces. So they have matching sides. So the first thing to do, so we need to score these. So along between this piece of this wallpaper and the edge of the picture, or the border of the picture. And then we're going to fold along those edges. Just kind of tuck them under and then back again. And then, so that's the back of your waterfall pocket, and you want to stick a front onto there. Find the matching piece. So again, you can punch some holes into the side of your pocket if you'd like to, or you can leave them with no hole in them. So I think I will give these take a little bit out, just a kind of little bite out of them. I'll come back to those. Go, and this one there. And again, I'm just going to put a bit of ink around those. And because I have taken a bite out of them, we want to ink the other side of this pocket, just so that you're not going to see that I'm going to see the white, and along this edge as well, where that fold is. So do that for all of those pockets. Okay. So matching them up. So this lovely, beautiful Art Nouveau fairy on there. So I'm just going to ink along the bottom and the top, and on that opposite side to that nook. And then stick it on the front there. Great. And this one, beautiful dragonfly. I think. So bottom and top again. Along that opposite side to give us a pocket. There we are, 3 pockets. So they're 3 different sizes, so you can layer them however you choose, but I think I'm going to have them going from big to small. On there. And I like to just do things by eye because I'm not keen on measuring, so just put a bit of glue on that first one. And kind of in the middle. It does mean a lot of my things come out a bit lopsided, but I quite enjoy that. So, but if you're someone that likes measuring and wants everything to be very precisely lined up, then by all means use a ruler on there. And I think I'll put the next one about there. You can keep bringing down the top one just to check the positioning. Okay. Oh, I didn't check the edges of those. Could have done with a bit more ink on there, but I can sort that out later. And then this final one, put about there. Again. And down. There we are. And then so that tag kind of is a bit camouflaged into the back there of onto that wallpaper. And there you have your waterfall pockets. So all there is to do now is to bring all our bits of ephemera back and fill all of our pockets. So we have a lot of these kind of wintry flowers and foliage, and these can slip inside these little pockets. Some of those in there. dragonfly ticket. Let's go with this thistle. And we've got these lovely postcards. So you could put one in this big pocket. You could put one in this big pocket here. The secrets. And a lot of tags here. This one you can punch the circle out, hole out. Yeah, and put a ribbon or some string or something in there. So it's of course entirely up to you what you do with these. They can go in here, they can go in the big pocket, or you can use them in other projects, and a lovely bookmark as well. So there we are. So that's the middle, the inside. Oh, yeah. So, and then on the outside, you can finish it off with a bit of string here. It's bulging with stuff now. You might have to play around with your spine a little bit to get it to shut nicely. There we are. And so around these two closures, I'm just going to put a piece of string. So the piece of string I prepared earlier has been stolen by the cat, I think. So I'll find another piece of string. So this is just a piece of waxed cotton string that people use in beading. And I'm going to wrap it first of all around this closure, and then over here I might do a little zigzag, like a figure of 8 around those two. And there we are. And that will hold it shut. A couple of, oh, I don't know, I'm shorter. So there we are, one completed folio with lots of bits inside. You could put a bit of ink along this spine if you want to, age some of that up as well. There are lots of other kits in my Etsy shop to complement this. A lot of fairies in the store, and the link to my shop is below, so check that out if you want anything else. And I really hope you enjoy it.